Moving on now, with no end to the Ukraine-Russia conflict in sight, the world is now gearing up to face the looming food security threat. Amid the ongoing tensions, the 12th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference has begun in Geneva, which is being held after a gap of 5 years. Now, ministers during the meet are expected to consider easing export restrictions on food to help alleviate pressures on countries facing food grain shortages. They will also consider whether to support the UN's World Food Programme to get supplies to feed needy countries. And discussions on the same will be held later today. Now, Chief Ngozi has, during her opening address, highlighted the need to evacuate and export wheat from Ukraine to help ease the crisis. India has taken a tough stance on finding a permanent solution to public stockholding for food security to ensure higher farm support for its resource-poor farmers. Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal voiced reservations on some of the provisions in the draft decisions. India slammed the developed nations that were blocking this, saying that the WTO needs to ensure the interests of developing and underdeveloped nations are upheld. Now, Goyal also highlighted the concerns over the spiraling food inflation.
भारत ने बहुत मजबूती से आज बात रखी है कि इस पीस क्लॉज को या जो ये पब्लिक स्टॉक होल्डिंग अलाउ होती है इसको परमानेंटली अलाउ कर दिया जाए। ये सिर्फ मात्र एक टेम्पररी मेजर के बदले इसको WTO के कानूनों के अंदर ही लाया जाए।
But tensions over the war are expected to derail any solution plans. On the first day, tensions ran high during the closed-door session. A number of Western delegates condemned Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, and over 30 delegates staged a walkout before the address by the Russian Minister Rezhnikov. Now, another key contentious issue that the summit is hoping to address today is the fisheries subsidies proposal, which aims to eliminate subsidies that contribute to overfishing and to curb support for illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing in order to ensure sustainable fishing. Now, the main sticking point is the so-called special and differential treatment for developing countries. The length of exemption periods also remains up for negotiation. Environmental groups have warned that anything beyond 10 years would be catastrophic. But India is demanding a 25-year exemption as against 7 years mentioned in the draft text, arguing that the fishing sector in the country is still at a nascent stage. Indian Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal warned that the country will not buckle under any pressure on the issue, adding that mistakes of the past should not be repeated.
आज का आत्मनिर्भर भारत, आज का भारत जिसमें हर प्रकार से हर चुनौती का सामना करने की ताकत है, ऐसे भारत को कोई प्रेशर कर नहीं सकता। किसी प्रकार के प्रेशर में भारत निर्णय नहीं लेता है।
India also slammed the multilateral body on inadequate response to COVID-19, batting for ensuring greater availability of vaccines in poor and developing countries. India again reiterated that the trade organization must adopt a people-first approach. This after India and South Africa in 2020 pushed for the template of intellectual property rights on COVID-19 medical tools to ensure more equitable access in poorer nations. While negotiations have been made on allowing most developing countries to produce COVID vaccines without authorization from the patent holders, the proposal has faced stiff resistance, mainly from the EU, the UK and Switzerland. The World Trade Organization chief, Ngozi, has expressed cautious optimism, but warned that the road ahead will be rocky with a few landmines, as the WTO faces pressure to chalk out the long-sought trade deals on various issues. The WTO hasn't produced a major trade deal in years, as decisions are reached by consensus, which has so far proved difficult.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.